1 Samuel 17, it tells a pretty famous story. It talks about David when he went up against Goliath. And it says before he went to go battle the giant Goliath, it says he went over to a stream and he picked out 5 smooth stones. And with those 5 smooth stones, he was going to go into battle with Goliath and hopefully win. Now, it's really easy to pass over a small, minute detail of that story. It says that he picked out 5 smooth stones. Now, what does that mean? What is so significant about that? Well, if you notice, he didn't get in there and go pick out a pebble. He didn't go in there and pick out a huge, massive boulder. He picked out the right kind of stone that he could know that he could use to win this battle. It had to be the right shape. It had to be the right size, etc., etc. In other words, that stone had sat in that stream for the right amount of time and had literally gotten rid of all the impurities, gotten rid of all the rough edges, had gotten rid of all the different things that would prevent it from being used. And a lot of us, we get really frustrated when we feel like things aren't popping off with our music. We think, well, God, I'm ready right now, etc., etc. We fail to understand, just like those stones had to get all the rough edges rubbed off, there are certain things in our lives that God has to get rid of. And if we're going to be used by Him, it comes at His timing. And when it all comes down to it, the stones didn't jump out of the stream, wave their hand and say, yo, David, I'm ready, let's do this. No. At the right time, David reached in that stream, pulled out exactly what he knew was going to do the job, and then he made it happen. Obviously, you know what happens from there. He slays Goliath, Israel wins, etc., etc., etc. It's very easy to get frustrated when we do this music thing. It's very easy to feel like, well, it's not happening, it's not moving quick enough. We got to realize there's still some things that God might be working in our lives. We might still have issues that we have to get rid of, that God has to sit and put us in the stream, so to speak, and get rid of all the junk. Be encouraged. Don't get frustrated. God's not done with you yet. Alright, so now we're going to talk about sound effects as it pertains to drums and things of that sort. What I've auditioned is just a few little random sound effects just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. That's more of a, I don't know, it just sounds like somebody falling down or something. Little kick scratch. This is more of a... And then here we got a little bit of a chant. Hey, 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 hey. So I'll just kind of show you how maybe some of these would be used in the context. Again, going back to the beat that I've been tweaking. Let's go from here. So here's what you can do with the chant. Hey, 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 hey. Just an idea what you can do there. There you go. So for me, probably the 2 sounds that I'm digging the most is this one, and then maybe something like this. I say use sound effects and things like that sparingly. In other words, I don't recommend, not every song has to have them, but a lot of times I like to use them for transitions. So if I'm coming out of the verse, if I'm coming out of the verse going into the chorus, or I'm coming out of the chorus going into the verse, I might use a sound like this. Now, that obviously is super long. I'm going to tweak that. I'm going to take the length of it down. That might be a little too much. That might be a little not. Probably good right there. So, kind of how this would work for me. Let's say I'm coming out of this into the verse. It would be something like this. Coming to the rap, into the chorus, I would go, etc., etc. So I'm going to bring this hi-hat back in. It would go like this. Whoops, my bad. So I'm going to throw that at the very top, etc., etc. But even if I want to do something just different, I might throw that little chant in there, just to give it a different feel, a different sound. So it'd be something like, hey, 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 hey. Now, I'm not really digging the sound of that, so I'm going to tweak that, the pitch on that a little bit. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Now I might throw that underneath the chorus just to give it a little bit of dynamics and sound. Just a little ear candy. But again, I would say use something like that sparingly because obviously that can get annoying really quickly. Same thing with the scratch. It's kind of played out, but still kind of is a good way to trigger that, hey, I'm about to change up the beat a little bit. Similar to how a DJ would cut into a... You see what I'm saying? There we go. Boom. Try throwing that one in there and see how that sounds. Now I'm going to probably take, sort of match what the low end is doing, I'm going to probably take that down a little bit on the hit. And that's obviously quite loud, so I'm going to turn the volume down on it a little bit. Turn that volume up. Alright, so there you go. Just a little basic usage on sound effects and how to use them. Generally, I use those, if we're going back to the sandwich analogy, if the hi-hat is the lettuce, the kick is the meat, and the snare is the bun. To me, the sound effects are like the pepper or the seasoning. They're just there to add a little bit of extra flavor, to bring a distinction between the parts of the song, and you don't want to overdo it. So anyway, hope you guys dug it.